Napoleon Bonaparte. Maybe you should press the start button.
It should be going.
It should be going.
Mm-hmm.
Napoleon Bonaparte was one...
Not working.
It was, but it stuttered on me. I'll just keep going.
You want me back up?
No, you don't need to.
Okay.
Napoleon Bonaparte was one of the greatest conquerors of all time. However, even he had to admit that one man was a greater leader than he. Napoleon once said, "If Socrates would enter the room, we should rise and do him honor. But if Jesus Christ came into the room, we should fall down on our knees and worship him." However, there is no evidence that Napoleon Bonaparte personally followed Christ's teachings. On the contrary, Bonaparte was a dictator and a murderer. He said that he didn't believe in a, quote, God who punished or rewarded us according to our deeds, end quote. Napoleon correctly saw that the unrestrained so-called freedom of the French Revolution produced nothing but death and chaos. Instead, Bonaparte used force to restore order in France. But in doing so, he deprived men of the personal freedom that they had. In 1804, he crowned himself Emperor of France. Then, in just 10 years, he became the most feared man in Europe, Asia, and Africa, even attempting to take over the British Empire and subdue Russia. Yet, hear what one of the most powerful leaders and figures in history had to say about Jesus Christ. Quote, "I search in vain in history to find the similar to Jesus Christ, or anything which can approach the gospel." Bonaparte also stated, quote, "All things proclaim the existence of God." So, why did Bonaparte talk about Christ the way he did? Well, being a student of history and a reader of the Bible, he had to admit that Jesus is completely unique in history. Although he intellectually admired Jesus, Bonaparte never acknowledged in his actions that Christianity is the only way of life which gives men both freedom and order. He said this, "The nature of Christ's existence is mysterious, I admit. But this mystery meets the wants of men. Reject it, and the world is an inexplicable riddle. Believe it, and the history of our race is satisfactorily explained." End quote. Even though he acknowledged this, Bonaparte died isolated, rejected, and despised. For all his accomplishments and conquests, he became merely a footnote in history. Virtually no one claims to be a follower of Napoleon Bonaparte, once the greatest leader in the world. Even Napoleon Bonaparte recognized Jesus has the words of life that give his followers purpose, meaning, and hope. Speaking of the power Jesus has as a leader, Bonaparte acknowledged, quote, "I know men, and I tell you that Jesus Christ is no mere man. Between him and every other person in the world, there is no possible term of comparison. Alexander, Caesar, Charlemagne, and I have founded empires. But on what did we rest the creations of our genius? Upon force. Jesus Christ founded his empire upon love. And at this hour, millions of men would die for him." End quote.